Hello, good evening. Welcome to Camnet Television Main News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo to present our top stories in the news tonight. ECL ponders on possible return to active politics. Government proposes to increase CDF to 30.6 million kwacha in the 2024 national budget. Lack of desks forces pupils at MTENDERE primary school to sit on the floor. In international news, ESWATINI, Africa's last absolute monarch, votes for parliament. And in sports news, Red Arrows and NAPSA stars lock horns in a FAZ Super League game.
Live your dream today by playing Nawina Lotto and stand a chance to win up to 2,000 kwacha every day.
And in order to play Zambia's most trusted lottery, first make sure you have money in your mobile money account.
In order to stand a chance to win, you need to follow these steps. Step number 1, dial *388*6#. Step number 2, select option 1 to buy your ticket. Step number 3, select option 5, which is Camnet. Step number 4, buy 1 ticket for 5 kwacha, 2 tickets for 10 kwacha, or 10 tickets for 50 kwacha. Number 5, enter your mobile PIN to confirm your purchase.
After buying your ticket, you will be entered into the day's draw and a unique code will be sent to you via SMS.
Draws will be done every day right here on Camnet TV, and the winners will be announced right here on Camnet TV every day at 19 hours. Remember, the more tickets you buy, the higher chances of winning. Get busy!
Hello again, another news in detail. Lusaka's MTENDERE Primary School Parents Teachers Committee, PTC, has bemoaned the lack of desks at the school, which has resulted in many pupils sitting on the floor. PTC Chairperson Matthews Mkandawire says pupils report as early as 05 hours in a quest to find a seat. Mr. Mkandawire says the committee has since engaged different stakeholders and individuals to come on board and assist with the desk deficit, one of whom has come forth to help repair some desks. Meanwhile, the well-wisher who has repaired some desks, Thomas Sipalo, has called on other community members to join President Hakainde Hichilema's dream of ensuring that all pupils sit on desks in schools. More in the following report.
Several pupils at Lusaka's MTENDERE Primary School are sitting on the floor due to lack of desks. The situation obtaining here is not unique, as several schools are grappling with overcrowding as a result of the free education policy, resulting in President Hakainde Hichilema giving a target of up to December 2023 to be rectified. School Parents Teachers Committee Chairperson Matthews Mkandawire says the parents are concerned as the ongoing situation is hampering learning, especially for those in examination classes such as the grade 9s.
Deficit in terms of desks, furniture rather, including the teachers do not have where to mark the books from. They don't have where to sit, just as evidenced in this classroom. There are few desks. Therefore, learners come as early as 5:30 to this school just to secure where they can sit. As such, it is posing a danger to them. They've got little time to rest at home.
Speaking in an interview with Camnet News Friday, Mr. Mkandawire says the committee has since engaged different stakeholders to come to the aid of learners.
To supplement government efforts by engaging stakeholders to help us manufacture desks, to come on board and help us. Therefore, one of them responded positively, using his own money or resources to help us repair the broken desks that we have had at this school. And just today, we are receiving the same desks that have just been repaired.
The learners also shared challenges they are facing in learning due to lack of furniture.
We are too much in our class. There's population of pupils. We all sit down, some sit on the desk. We don't have desks.
My desks are good. Timangala pansi apodema ngusitogwada kutulembeshe munshi ero bantu banapakisa muklasi lofuthi kwa MTENDERE pali bana bambili
kukazi lo 5 pakutupesha beponkala otherwise ukabwela kuma 6 nshimklasi mwazula nshimklasi mwatutili bambili almost 200.
Meanwhile, a local well-wisher, Thomas Sipalo, has aided the school with repairing some desks which have since been delivered to the school.
So we've decided that in our little way, in our small way, we bring the desks here so that our children can have a good environment where they can be learning from. Please, I'm urging other parents, business communities and everyone to also try to help where they can. Government alone is not enough. These are our children. Right now we've got an influx of junkies. If children are not going to school, believe you or not, we are not going to have a future as Zambia. So right now, let's hold hands, let's make sure that we help each other.
As the saying goes, education is a great equalizer. Therefore, it is up to every member of the community to aid efforts in actualizing access to quality education. Now, Sonzulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
A senior citizen, Shelley Mwene, has encouraged parents to take interest in their children's academic work in order for them to succeed. Speaking when she attended a science fair at Overhill Primary School in Lusaka, Ms. Mwene says parents should not leave the education of their children to teachers alone, but they also play a vital role in the process. She observes that science fairs help children to better understand what they learn. And school head teacher Mary Mbewe says the school came up with the event in order to give the children an opportunity to actualize what they learn. Here's a report.
How this thing is used is by putting the coin, then you push, the coin will come out. Then I also used paper and a stapler with cardboard to make the chairs.
These are some of the children that participated in the science fair that was held at Overhill School. The children showcased various projects that they worked on.
4 main parts. The speaker produces sound, the battery, I use the lithium battery, it's the power source. The control panel where you increase and decrease volume and change channels. This is the antenna. The other name for an antenna is called an aerial.
How the human heart works by pumping blood to all the organs and hearts and brain to every part of the body.
Science fairs are a very vital and powerful tool for encouraging children to deep dive in an area of interest, synthesizing science and engineering concepts, exposing children to STEM career paths, and integrating critical soft thinking. Authorities at the school feel that the fair will help the children to better understand science and in turn improve their performance.
It's important that they do this activity so that we encourage them to see how important the subject is, especially after, I'm sure you have watched and you have seen most of the activities which they've done, the projects, so that from there they can develop a habit or develop an interest in this subject.
Initially, that's when we are starting this arrangement in most schools. We find that it's becoming challenging for learners if you are not awarding them. So we feel that we award them, we bring them maybe judges who can able to see what projects they have brought in place. That will motivate other learners, not only at this school, even at other schools. Learners can go into other schools, they compete.
They've made it practical. They are able to see, and what is seen, like what you saw up there, the displays and the like, it will boost their interest. And also those that were not able to do anything, looking at what they've seen from their friends, it will motivate them. Even those that didn't do well, they'll be able to do better next time.
And some of the parents that attended the fair expressed happiness at what they witnessed and further encouraged the school to organize more of such events in order to help the children have a better understanding of what they learn.
This is very helpful to her, and then it also helps us to interact with our kids in school-wise or education-wise. Then I would encourage the school to continue with this because it's going to help our kids to be more and more interested in these science projects.
Oh, you know, I personally, I say it's a plus to what I've observed, and it is also of greater value because it's an awakening It's an awakening time as being a people now that are living in this technology world driven by all forms of gadgets. The projects have come at the right time.
I'm encouraging the parents to put effort. The school is not only at school itself, but school is it even at home. You tell your child, do this, do this, do this. When you encourage your child at home, definitely at school it won't be difficult for her to get it.
Science fairs are a great way to get children out of textbooks and into real life. They learn how the knowledge they have acquired can be applied to real-life problems. Reporting for Camnet TV News, my name is Marco Kwakozi in Lusaka.
Former Republican President Edgar Lungu says he will look into the request of whether to return into active politics. The former head of state said this shortly after his wife Esther Lungu's court appearance at the Lusaka Magistrates Court. The former president was responding to a request made by former Patriotic Front Deputy Secretary General Mombi Piri. Earlier, the court adjourned to the 4th of October 2023, the case where the former First Lady and 4 others are accused of stealing a motor vehicle. More in this report.
Former Republican President Edgar Lungu walked into the court corridors of the subordinate court Friday to escort his wife Esther Lungu, who appeared for an alleged criminal case. Opposition Patriotic Front Party officials joined the former First family at the Lusaka Magistrate Court to offer solidarity, walking side by the former head of state after the case was adjourned. Former PF Deputy Secretary General Mombi Piri called on the former president to consider withdrawing his resignation from active politics and contest the 2026 general elections.
Kapokeni nkalata ku cabinet abantu balebifwaye ko tulefwa n'ensalale kene bafirwa baleka okumiripira muye kukyawama request ero ine nakulala ndapo every day kapokeni nkalata ku cabinet ile mwatwala titamuli mwama politics nakuchula chule niki isala chule nina ifwe
Amid celebratory cheers of his followers in responding to her request, the former head of state said he was going to look into it.
I'm the longest in
I thought you were going to talk about jogging and things like that.
Jogging, my local tuli. I didn't know jogging and I'm not Kali. Amen. Amen.
Earlier, the Lusaka Magistrate Court adjourned to the 4th of October 2023, the case in which former First Lady Esther Lungu is jointly charged with 4 others, among them 2 police officers. The matter was adjourned after the state requested for more time in order to respond to the defense application. The defense made an application requesting the court to review its ruling to send back the matter for reallocation after it stated that it has no jurisdiction for the 5th court where the former First Lady is charged with the possession of proceeds of crime, adding that the offense is tried by the Economic and Financial Crimes Court. The former First Lady is jointly charged with James Piri, a police officer, Lee Chisulo, a police officer, Kapambwe Lungu, and Catherine Banda. She, along with 4 others, was arrested on the 16th of September 2023. The charges against them include the theft of motor vehicle, theft of a property certificate. The former First Lady has also been separately charged with possession of suspected properties to be linked to criminal activities. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Minister of Finance and National Planning Stumbekom Sokotwane has unveiled a 180 billion KWACHA 2024 national budget under the theme Unlocking Economic Potential. Speaking during the presentation in the National Assembly Friday, Dr. Msokotwane says the budget is aimed at promoting economic growth through enhanced private sector investment, increased productivity, and improved public service delivery. He has also announced the recruitment of 4,200 teachers and 1,200 auxiliary staff and 4,000 health workers. Dr. Msokotwane has further announced an increase in the Constituency Development Fund CDF from 28.3 million kwacha to 30.6 million kwacha. Details in the following report.
Government has proposed to spend 180 billion kwacha in 2024, representing 27.8% of the gross domestic product GDP of the country. This represents a 12.3 million kwacha increase from the 2023 budget, which stands at 167.3 billion kwacha. Minister of Finance and National Planning Dr. Stumbeko Msokotwane presented the proposed 2024 national budget in the National Assembly Friday afternoon. Dr. Msokotwane said the budget will be funded from both external and internal sources, such as grants, loans, and revenue through tax collections.
Government proposes to spend almost 180 billion, or 27.8% of GDP. To support this expenditure, 141 billion, or 22% of GDP, will be domestic revenue, 3.4%, 3.4 billion, or 0.6, will be grants from cooperating partners. And the deficit, Madam Speaker, is envisaged to be 4.8% of GDP.
And the Finance Minister said government targets to grow the economy by 2.7% in 2024. He said government further plans to reduce inflation rate to between 6 and 8% from the current 12%. Dr. Msokotwane has further announced the increased Constituency Development Fund, CDF, to 30.6 million kwacha from the current 28.3 million kwacha for each constituency in the country.
With the increased allocation towards CDF, all constituencies will be required to facilitate the provision of water, recreation, and other services. Madam, government will also review the CDF Act 2018 and the Public Procurement Act of 2020 to further strengthen citizens' participation and streamline the procurement processes.
He has also announced that government will employ a further 4,200 teachers and 1,200 auxiliary staff in the education sector and 4,000 health workers.
To improve service delivery in the education sector, I propose to recruit 4,200 teachers and 1,200 non-teaching staff in the year 2024. And for this, I'm proposing to spend 356 million kwacha. To improve the quality of health care, I propose that 4,000 health personnel be employed in 2024.
The 2023 national budget was presented under the theme Unlocking Economic Potential. For Camnet TV News, Afias Kaptula, Lusaka.
And reacting to the 2024 national budget, Kanchiria constituency member of Parliament Sunday Chanda says the councillors are winners in this year's budget. The lawmaker toasted to the upward adjustment of the Constituency Development Fund CDF from 28.3 million kwacha to 30.6 million kwacha.
That they have responded favorably by increasing allocation towards the equalization fund. And what this will do is that our councillors across the country will get better, conditions of service as a result of this budget. And so we remain very, very optimistic that where the councillors were, in the previous years and where the councillors will be a different ballgame. So from that angle, this becomes a budget for the councillors, because in so many years, councillors have not had their conditions of service attended to. So So this is a budget that councillors, every councillor across the country must be able to celebrate. Secondly, the increment around the CDF is a welcome move. As you know, that CDF is a game changer, and those of us from rural constituencies and Kanchiga in particular, we have elected not to play politics with development. We have elected to choose development over politics, and so the 2 million increment is monumental in the sense that what was not there will now be there. For example, we now have to provide for basic secondary schools. Now, if I give you a scenario of a constituency which never had a basic secondary school, and for the first time we know that we can put aside 2.1 million kwacha and construct a basic secondary school, it's a big win for our people. What this also does is that it allows us to spend on other productive areas such as agriculture.
Meanwhile, Chief Government spokesperson Cornelius Mwetwa described the budget as progressive and youth-oriented, as seen from what he terms as government's desire to create jobs in the health and education sectors, among others.
This budget is a game changer because it has come to underpin the fact that we have been moving from the first budget of economic recovery to the second budget of economic stability, now to a pro-growth budget for 2023, focusing on economic transformation and job creation. This is a budget, year in, year out, 3 years for the first time, where the government consistently has provided for public service workers to be recruited. The numbers that were mentioned for teachers, for health workers, this must be able to come as a huge relief to the young people who in the past did not know whether they were ever going to get employed. With the numbers being announced, and we do know that this may not be the end, there is a glimmer of hope for the young people that one day they will get an opportunity to be employed. And this administration of the President, Hakainde Hichilema, is mindful that it was brought into office by the majority voters being the young people. And so it has a youthful face that each time a budget is being presented, there's consideration as to what opportunities are being created for the young people.
Economist Kelvin Chisanga has advised government to put in place stringent measures to cushion economic challenges that come with the exchange rate. Earlier this week, the Zambia Statistics Agency revealed that the annual inflation rate for the month of September has increased to 12% from 10.8% recorded last month. Meanwhile, a vegetable trader of Lusaka's MTENDERE compound, Irene Tembo, says life has become unbearable with the high cost of basic commodities. Here's a report.
Barely a month after the Jesuit Center for Theological Reflection JCTR projected the cost of living for a family of 5 in Lusaka to need about 9,267 kwacha 34 ngwe to survive the month of September, the Zambia Statistics Agency has also announced that the annual inflation rate for the month of September 2023 has increased to 12% from 10.8% recorded last month. This has been attributed to movements in prices of both food and non-food inflation, which were recorded at 13.4% and 10% respectively. Irene Ngoma, a vegetable trader in Lusaka's MTENDERE compound, says this has a huge bearing on the cost of living, as she already struggles to feed her family of 8.
Sometimes 300, 250 and 200. 6. 9 and I'm there so today. I'm there so serious. Each time I'm in my veg.
Meanwhile, economist Kelvin Chisanga says there's need to reduce importation and promote local production.
There is a need for us to start looking at reducing the percentage in allocation to ensure that it has a little bit of accommodative factor considering the current economic prevailing conditions that we're able to see. We need also to look at an aspect of dangling, stimulating power in terms of policy attraction method so that we can actually help to save some of the aspects that we're able to see in the economy. Much of what we are able to see is that we need to have a model in which we should be able to have a rescue modality plan to ensure that we have a strong buffer when it comes to the effect that we're able to see on the local currency and few others.
According to economists, when the rate of inflation rises rapidly, it can result in lower purchasing power, higher interest rates, slower economic growth, among other negative economic effects. Vincent Piri for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
Some Lusaka residents have bemoaned the lack of information on empowerment schemes under the Constituency Development Fund, CDF. According to the findings by the Jesuit Center for Theological Reflection, JCTR, of enhanced CDF for 2022 in 51 wards of Chisamba, Kasama Central, Livingston Central and Masaiti constituencies, 59% of community member respondents shared that CDF was not fair and transparent due to project selection being influenced by political party affiliation, secrecy in contract awarding, as well as challenges in record keeping at ward level. One of the residents, Joy Piri, says much as CDF has been decentralized, its impact is not being felt by ordinary Zambians. Details in the following report.
According to the findings by the Jesuit Center for Theological Reflection, JCTR, of enhanced CDF for 2022 in 51 wards of Chisamba, Kasama Central, Livingston Central and Masaiti constituencies, 59% of community member respondents shared that CDF was not fair and transparent due to project selection being influenced by political party affiliation, secrecy in awarding contracts, as well as challenges in record keeping at ward level. JCTR Programs Manager Father Grant Tange therefore says there is need for local authorities to develop a practice of regularly disseminating information and decisions to community members on the CDF progress.
Local authorities and WDCs are not producing monitoring reports as well as not sharing some of the CDF reports to community members. Processes. For example, many community members did not know the difference between a loan and a grant. Some did not know where to collect the forms and where to submit the forms. This was impeding community participation in the CDF. Low participation of community members participating in selecting of community projects. So the CDF guidelines stipulate that community members must choose their community projects. From the findings, many community members shared that they did not participate in choosing community projects because there were no community meetings held. Others cited projects being imposed on them. Political influence in CDF implementation was cited as a challenge to community participation in CDF implementation. From the findings that were shared that politicians were using CDF to fulfill campaign promises and reward their supporters.
Some Lusaka residents have also shared their displeasure at the lack of information on CDF despite being decentralized to ward level.
Empowerment kuno tukamanini majanki nchito kulibe ma problems ni ambili kama WTC siwaoneka kwa youth empowerment kulikuwa tukulibe hatutana tapa mwanza tumosa elimu kwa kulikuwa tukulibe sitizo kapa zilengeza nchanta dentizo hapo chichonse tisosalira kwa sonse.
Meanwhile, Leadership Movement Party Information and Publicity Secretary Jason Mwanza describes the CDF as a scam as it has no positive impact on Zambians.
The system under which CDF is working and the manner in which CDF is working, number one, there is no CDF because MPs are complaining that money, the only money that they have received is up to 6 million kwacha. So how would the community participate when there is no money, when they are not having access to that money, when the MPs are not having access to that money? And we have seen that there are some MPs that have carried out, some road works, some works here and there, and yet they have not accounted for how much they have spent on that particular money and what their budgeting was. Where is the rest of the money? If out of the 28.3, only 6 million kwacha has been issued. If out of the 28.3, only 4 million, only 2 million has been issued to some members of parliament, this CDF is a scam. Going into 2024, we want to see a situation where CDF is going to be a directly benefit to the Zambian people.
The Constituency Development Fund, CDF, was first established in 1995 to support small community projects in all constituencies across the country. The coming of the UPND government, the CDF was decentralized to wards. However, its impact on communities in most constituencies needs Rafona Kachinda's binoculars to be pointed out. Vincent Piri for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
The Socialist Party has charged that the arrest of its national youth leader, Gabriel Banda, is a ploy to get party president Fred Membe. The Zambia Police Service Friday arrested Mr. Banda, 33, who is also immediate past University of Zambia Students' Union UNZASU president, for inciting riot and looting which recently rocked the institution. Socialist Party Deputy Secretary General Antonio Mwanza, however, claims the party is aware of government's plans to cook up unbailable charges against Dr. Membe to prevent him from contesting the 2026 general elections.
That stops any citizen to go to the University of Zambia. Number two, there's no evidence whatsoever that Gabriel instigated the students or he was at the University of Zambia when the riots were taking place. And even though, for any doubt, even if he were at the University of Zambia, the University of Zambia still remains a public institution and anybody can be found at the University of Zambia. So to propose that he is instigating and that he is pushing for the riots that took place is a lie. But we know all this thing is centered on Freddie Membe. That's the target. So Gabriel is being used to get to Dr. Freddie Membe. We are very much aware that this government is cooking up a lot of cases against Dr. Freddie Membe, trumped up charges, and their goal is to make sure that he's not put on the ballot paper in 2026. There are schemes by this government to lock up Dr. Freddie Membe on unavailable offenses. And all these are part of the build-up. There are so many cases that given Dr. Freddie Membe, cases that when we go to the police or we go to court, the police are not ready to produce the evidence. So we know the target here is Dr. Freddie Membe, and they want to get to him. And Gabriel is just one of the people that they're using to get to Dr. Freddie Membe. What they are trying to do is to force Gabriel to say that Dr. Freddie Membe is the one who funded the operations of the students at the University of Zambia. Students are intellectuals with their own fresh minds, and they cannot be influenced by anybody. So the target here is Dr. Freddie Membe, and we suspect, I want to put it on record, we suspect that Gabriel has been tortured. That is our suspicion as a party, that he's been tortured, and that the aim of that torture, according to our suspicion, is to force him to implicate Dr. Freddie Membe in the riots at the University of Zambia. This is wrong.
We'll take our first commercials. Join us for more news after the break.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, downlights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962 642 490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Deborah, have you connected to the Wi-Fi on the bus? It's fast, it's amazing. I've just downloaded my books and I'm about to complete the series. It's nice, chew me.
No, I'm actually watching a reality show. He's about to propose. Aww.
smells so sweet.
Make your trip seem short yet comfortable and safe when you use the UBZ luxurious fully air-conditioned coaches that come fitted with amazing onboard entertainment, passenger information services, coffee-making facilities and fridge for your hot and cold beverages, free and interrupted Wi-Fi for your gadgets, phone charging facilities, comfortable seats that recline to offer extra resting posture, safety seat belts, adjustable reading lights for each traveling client, and of course, clean flushing toilets for your convenience. So travel in luxury and safety with UBZ luxurious coaches. UBZ will always take you there.
Live your dream today by playing Nawina Lotto and stand a chance to win up to 2,000 kwacha every day.
And in order to play Zambia's most trusted lottery, first make sure you have money in your mobile money account.
In order to stand a chance to win, you need to follow these steps. Step number 1, dial *388*6#. Step number 2, select option 1 to buy your ticket. Step number 3, select option 5, which is Camnet. Step number 4, buy 1 ticket for 5 kwacha, 2 tickets for 10 kwacha, or 10 tickets for 50 kwacha. Number 5, enter your mobile PIN to confirm your purchase.
After buying your ticket, you will be entered into the day's draw and a unique code will be sent to you via SMS.
Draws will be done every day right here on Camnet TV, and the winners will be announced right here on Camnet TV every day at 19 hours. Remember, the more tickets you buy, the higher chances of winning. Get busy, Iwe!
It's not by the efforts of one, but by the combined efforts of many. You're going to reach people that nobody else can reach. The glory of God's going to run through this land.
And there's nothing the devil can do to stop it.
I come and light a fire and watch it burn. God's not finished with Africa. The Lord will forge in you that which He wants you to do. God has raised you up for this hour.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Renglow, your smart irrigation partner.
Welcome back. We'll continue with the news. Vice President Mtalenda Lumango is tomorrow expected to grace the 2023 edition of the Pamozi Carnival and Expo. And Minister of Tourism Rodney Sikumba has called on young people to appreciate their culture by taking interest in heritage. Speaking when he addressed a combination of learners from various colleges and Lusaka schools at the Culture Clinic as part of the carnival opening in Lusaka Showgrounds today, the minister called on young people to attend the event in numbers and appreciate what the country has to offer in terms of culture. He said this year's event is special in the sense that it provides a learning platform for young people through the expo and exhibitions. He said that the festival will give the young people an experience of what the Zambian culture is all about through song, dance and culinary experience. The minister has also encouraged the young people to embrace their local language and to take advantage of it as it is being taught in schools.
1, 2, 3, 4.
If I'm not mistaken, our teachers, there's all these issues to do with learning your local language, depending on which province you're in. That is a start. And now the next thing is how best can we work around it. When we were in school, we used to do home economics. Again, it should be issues to do with what is cooked, what is prepared in those particular areas. Director, thank you so much for inviting me to address our good people here. and I'm just hoping that they will be very excited with what they're going to see. The choreography you're going to see from these guys who actually do the dances from your respective provinces is something out of this world. I've seen them before, and I'm sure you're going to learn one or two things. But I think what is most exciting about today is the food that is going to be prepared here.
I said culture identifies us for who we are. We should never, ever be ashamed to learn our local languages. It's important to have an identity. It's important for you to understand your culture heritage.
The Zambia Compulsory Standards Agency, ZCSA, has seized an assortment of local and imported products in Western Province valued at 28,441 kwacha 62 ngwe for being supplied on the market contrary to the provisions of the Compulsory Standards Act No. 3 of 2017. ZCSA Head of Communications, Brian Hatioka, says the seized non-compliant products include clear beer, household electrical appliances, incandescent bulbs, peanut butter, OPEC beer, fruit-flavored drinks, biscuits, margarine, soaps, and shoe polish. Mr. Hatioka says this enforcement action was conducted in 5 towns of Western Province, namely Kalabo, Mongu, Sikongo, Limulunga, and Nalolo, as part of the agency's ongoing market surveillance inspections. He says the enforcement activities in the province were aimed at ensuring that only safe products are supplied to consumers.
The Compulsory Standards Agency has seized an assortment of local and imported products here in Western Province, valued at 28,441 kwacha 62 ngwe. These products were supplied on the market contrary to the provisions of the Compulsory Standards Act No. 3 of 2017. When I say these products were contrary to the Compulsory Standards No. 3 of 2017, basically these are products that were expired, these are products that were poorly labeled, these are products that have been banned in this country, but people keep on importing and trading in illegal products. So when it has been seized, they are in the category of non-compliant products. Clear beer, household electrical appliances, incandescent bulbs, peanut butter, opaque beer, fruit-flavored drinks, biscuits, margarine, soaps, and shoe polish. This particular enforcement action was conducted in 5 towns of Western Province, namely Kalabo, Mongu, Sikongo, Limulunga, and Nalolo, as part of the agency's ongoing market surveillance inspections. On another hand, the agency is appealing to traders and importers here in Western Province and across Zambia to ensure that they comply with Compulsory Standards Act No. 3 of 2017 in terms of supplying products that are covered by Compulsory Standards on the market. This is in a bid to avoid putting the safety of consumers at risk. Currently, the agency regulates 61 locally manufactured and imported products which are covered by Compulsory Standards.
We'll take our second and final break. We'll be back with international and sports news.
It's not by the efforts of one, but by the combined efforts of many. You're going to reach people that nobody else can reach. The glory of God's going to run through this land.
And there's nothing the devil can do to stop it.
I come and light a fire and watch it burn. God's not finished with Africa. The Lord will forge in you that which He wants you to do. God has raised you up for this hour.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Renglow, your smart irrigation partner.
Amba Science Dark Afuno Pomula, decade fatigue. That's a report I was given. Science Dark, what's Ati? Science Dark bossy. Ati Mizako Muntu. I need to Pomuleko, please. To remember Banja knife. Because if I don't go to their doorsteps, the relation is a sinner. Better vis-a-vis. Let me start dealing with this vis-a-vis. I'm a doorstep. Head on.
At your doorstep. Time 11 hours to 12 hours every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And repeats from 18 to 19 hours every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Camnet Television, not just another channel. And now in foreign news, ESWATINI, Africa's last absolute monarchy, holds legislative elections on Friday despite recent and deadly pro-democracy protests, which are unlikely to change the political scenery in the tightly controlled kingdom. More than 500,000 people are registered to vote in the Southern African nation of 1.2 million, where polling stations opened at 07 hours and will close at 11 hours later. Voters are called to choose 59 members of the lower house of parliament, which plays only an advisory role to the monarch, King Mswati III, who wields absolute power. The results seen as a foregone conclusion by the opposition, which has already largely called for a boycott of the vote, are to be announced within a few days. Here's a roundup of foreign news for more.
ESWATINI, Africa's last absolute monarchy, holds legislative elections on Friday that, despite recent and deadly pro-democracy protests, are unlikely to change the political scenery in the tightly controlled kingdom. More than 500,000 people are registered to vote in the Southern African nation of 1.2 million. Voters are called to choose 59 members of the lower house of parliament, which plays only an advisory role to the monarchy, King Mswati III, who wields absolute power. The results seen as a foregone conclusion by the opposition, which has largely called for a boycott of the vote, are to be announced within a few days.
Rights activists and a number of international organizations and countries on Thursday hailed the progress made in Guinea towards justice for the victims of a deadly 2009 massacre, a year after the trial of the accused began. In a joint statement, representatives said the trial's opening had marked a significant step towards resolving this painful chapter in the country's history. A year ago, the trial of the September 28th massacre opened in Conakry after a 13-year wait. It's been long, it's been perilous. A lot has been done, a lot of national and international pleas have been made. And that's another reason to salute the commitment of the current government, the current authorities, for having been able to organize this trial in the first place. At least 156 people were killed, hundreds wounded, and at least 109 women raped at a stadium in Conakry in September 2009. There are women here who would really like to testify, so the in-camera program is something I would really like to see taken very seriously, so that these women are protected, because this protection is very important. At the moment, we have women who are still threatened and who are forced to change accommodation each time. Guinea's former dictator, Moussa Dadis Camara, and 10 other co-defendants stand accused of the killings. Proceedings are due to resume next Tuesday.
Mop-up operations are well underway in Cape Town, following days of heavy rain caused by floods in various parts of the city. 8 people have been reported dead, including 4 children killed by electrocution in 2 separate events. Hundreds of homes were waterlogged, with families trying their best to salvage what's left.
On Monday, the water just stormed in, but it was at my door lower. We took photos, the water came from under. Within 10 minutes, the water just flowed in. We could do nothing. We just have to pack up. There was nothing to do because the water was forceful.
Yeah, nobody actually believed because there's like 8 steps up
right? Nobody could actually believe the water came into our house from the stoop till the back. Nobody could believe, because our house is probably the second highest here.
Storms caused by cold fronts are common in the Cape Town region and the Western Cape province. In June, one caused around $50 million of damage to the agriculture sector in the Western Cape, according to regional authorities.
And now in sports news, the Football Association of Zambia FAZ Super League enters week 6 with Red Arrows taking on NAPSA Stars at Sunset Stadium in what seems to be the game of the weekend. A win for 4th place Arrows, who are coming from a 1-0 loss to Mofulira Wanderers, will move them to the first position. 12th place NAPSA will also be looking to climb up the table to 11th above Kansanshi Dynamos, who face Konkola Blades. Ndola-based outfit Zesco United play troubled Green Eagles. Quito Giants and Nkana Red Devils take on Trident as Nkwazi travels to Kabwe to face Warriors at the 109 Godfrey Yuka Chitalu Stadium. Mutondo Stars battles it out with inform Mufulira Wanderers, while Buffaloes versus Power and Muza versus Forest Rangers games have been postponed. To end Camnet Television News, the top stories once again. ECL ponders on possible return to active politics. Government proposes to increase CDF to 30.6 million kwacha in the 2024 national budget. Lack of desks forces pupils at MTENDERE Primary School to sit on the floor. In international news, ESWATINI, Africa's last absolute monarchy, votes for parliament. And in sports news, Red Arrows and NAPSA Stars lock horns in a FAZ Super League game. Our coming verse of the day is coming from Joshua 1 verse 8. This book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall read and meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do everything in accordance with all that is written in it. For then you will make your way prosperous, and then you will be successful. Thank you for watching Camnet Television News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Good night.